This week on the Spiel, we're on a boat and in San Francisco. Join us aboard Just Dreaming. The curving, climbing streets of San Francisco take us to some of the best views of the city's skyline. And their Painted Ladies tours. The VW vintage fleet commands quite a bit of attention. We think our guide Dave is the reason why. And Alcatraz, known for housing some of the worst inmates. We'll introduce you to the man ensuring we made that journey to the infamous island. A special The Spiel San Francisco starts right now. You know, we say it all the time on the Spiel, it's the people, it's those individuals that we come in contact with. Everybody has a story. We're with Captain Larry right now in a body of water outside of San Francisco, a place that we never thought we would be. We want to thank you for the opportunity, Captain. And
my pleasure.
Yeah, I mean, you showed us so many things today and talked about so many points of interest along the waterway. First of all, let's get to know you. Why is it that you do what you do?
It's a relief. I have a daytime job that's a lot of pressure. And
You're
being out here,
a lawyer, right?
I'm a trial lawyer.
A trial.
I have been a trial lawyer for 42 years. And this gives me a chance to get out on the water and relax. Oh my God, is it nice.
Nice.
When I'm out here, I don't worry about any lawsuits, any judges, any clients, nothing.
right.
It's like perfect.
You know, people come to San Francisco and they look around and where we're sitting right now in this body of water, a 360 view will give you a vantage point to a lot of different places of interest. Tell me what it is that you want to convey to your patrons when they come on board. What is it that you want to point out? Because I know you're proud of the landscape.
Well, San Francisco's got a very rich history. I mean, we go back well before the 49ers, 1849 gold rush. And there's a lot of history that I can show anybody comes on board if they're interested. I just took it for granted. I mean, growing up in San Francisco, it's like, yeah, so what?
Yeah.
But when I take people out and go, wow, you know, kind of renews my energy about living in this city. It's perfect.
No doubt. I mean, it's things that we take for granted, but people will spend a lot of money and a lot of time to get here and see these things. You were pointing out today, you really like the predated periods where, I mean, there were war times going on and they were strategically placed different things. Let's talk a little bit about that again.
Well, okay, California has a rich history that predates the United States. Originally, the Spaniards came in and conquered the area, whatever you call that.
Right.
They came in, they conquered the area, and we had, at that point, Spanish forts. Then Spain sold California to the Mexicans, and the Mexicans came in, then the United States bought it, and they came in. And so we've had all these different iterations of fortifications and cultures, etc., that are up and down our coast. And they're no more prevalent than here in San Francisco.
Awesome. I love it how you said, you know, so many times you get people who come in and say, you know what, show me something I've never seen before. And it starts there at the arch of the bridge on the right or left. It was the left side, I think.
It was on the south side, yeah.
And you told me about that, and then you talked about some tunnels and such. Go into those things that perhaps people don't know about, that aren't openly discussed or widely discussed.
It's not openly discussed, but it's very readily available. You have, on the one hand, you have the forts on the San Francisco side, Fort Point, etc. All of the gun emplacements that were there for World War I and World War II. On the other side of the bridge, you've got all these forts that go all the way along the Marin headlands. Even though I don't particularly think that our culture is limited to just forts, there's a lot of history that's in these areas that are in addition to any forts. So it's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
It's a lot of fun to see it and go, wow, amazing.
You know what? You're a captain and esteemed, and everybody looks up to you, and obviously you have your other profession. But you pulled out your phone today and you shared some images, and I could see the excitement in your eyes and in your voice. Is that part of it for you? It's like
it's fun.
The moment.
I do this job And it's not always a lot of work. It's a lot more fun.
Yeah.
I take people out and I show them things and I watch the look on their face, the oohs and the ahs. We get the Blue Angels coming in here, for one example. And everybody's like, I have a ball, I have a ball. I get to drive them around and show them things that they hadn't seen before and make sure that I can explain it to them so they get the history and the significance of it.
Very nice, very nice. A little older boat that we're on, but you know what? If you're someone who loves this type thing and absolutely loves the water, I mean, there's a lot of teak wood on this boat. There's some history. I mean, it's awesome. It's rich.
This boat is a result of World War II. With the bombing of Pearl Harbor, the United States Navy decided it did not need battleships anymore, though they had stockpiled tons of teak and mahogany for the decks of battleships. So when the war was over, all this was declared surplus, and two brothers out there in Stockton, the Stevens brothers, decided they were going to build bigger and bigger ships, and this is the result of what was made available at the end of World War II.
Awesome.
It's beautiful. I walked on here the first time, I said, when you're done with it, it's mine.
It's mine.
Because I fell in love with it.
Yeah.
So that's my
Captain,
baby.
is there anything else, like I want to prompt you to give the right answers. Is there anything else that I haven't asked you about that you definitely wanted to touch on?
People come to San Francisco and go to the tourist traps. There's so many things that people see day in and day out. Fisherman's Wharf, the Twin Peaks, etc. There's so much more of San Francisco. And it's not that those aren't interesting, but there's so much more that they can come to see and be a part of. And whether it's me or others, we're here to show it to them if they want to see it.
That's right. Let's invite them to find you. How do they find you online?
It's easy. The name of the boat is Just Dreaming Yacht.
My dreams
Just
were
Dreaming
answered
Yacht.
today. How about yours, Marcus? Good? Marcus? Yeah, they were answered. Okay.
Okay, so anybody wants to call us, feel free to call us. And even if you're not looking for a boat, you want to see some other things, we're happy to, the kids that work on this boat grew up in the area.
Yeah.
So they're happy to say, hey, what about going here and what about going there? And give you some suggestions. San Francisco's got a lot of history, even before the gold rush, and it's here to see.
That's right. That's right.
You know,
awesome crew, and I tell you what, we've heard of stories today about engagements, you know, folks popping the question there on the bow of the boat, coming out and pressing executives in corporate America, just coming out for some time with your family. Definitely take advantage of it. This is a side of San Francisco that you have to see, and we want to thank you so much for the opportunity,
our pleasure.
Captain. It was awesome. Thank you.
We enjoy getting the opportunity to show people this because they never know about it. They never see it.
That's
and we get
right.
to take them out and watch their face and oh my God.
I think
we almost picked up a couple of whales today.
We
you know?
did, we did,
And
we did.
you would have never seen the whales. You wouldn't see the porpoises
So
unless
cool.
you come out here and you kind of tool around with us and help us point them out.
So cool. So cool. Again, thank you very much.
My pleasure.
And wow, we are kind of awestruck today. We'll be right back.
You're watching The Spiel.
We say it all the time, you know, everybody has a story. Nancy Jensen, you're no different. I mean, just a great lady. We met her here on the Just Dreaming Yacht Charter. That's kind of cool, by the way.
Yep, on San Francisco Bay.
How'd you get this gig?
Larry, I've known for years, and it's one of those things, the water's my happy place, and this is a great boat to be on, a lot of history, and we just love the people that come on board.
You guys are really passionate about what you do. I mean,
we
where does
love
that
it.
come from?
Oh, you know, it's one of those things, born and raised in San Francisco, so, you know, this has been my backyard all my life, and to share it with people that literally come from all over the world is
Yeah.
just awesome.
Yeah, it's so cool. We got on board and we got the guys, you know, they got their cameras and they're showing off pictures. She goes, hey, 2 whales' tails, like look at this, like underneath the bridge and stuff. I mean, those are victories when you get those type of imagery, right?
Absolutely, because you don't always get them.
What was that day about? I mean,
So
how
we were
did that
just
happen?
out on a charter, and it was a company in, and literally just a pod of whales were playing under the Golden Gate, and I just happened to, like, I was taking some pictures, and 2 whale tails went up perfectly right under the bridge, and it was
You're
amazing.
Like, money. Okay, that's cool. You know, when people experience something like this, obviously they're a little intimidated, like, oh, I can never afford that, whatever. Sometimes you need to do these things because you learn just a whole other side of it. What is it that you guys try to accomplish in a charter when someone calls on you?
So we do everything from birthday parties to corporate events to scattering of the ashes, and we kind of cater to everyone. And the boat holds up to 42. We've had as few as 7 people on board for like a private intimate. We've had weddings. We've had engagements.
Yeah.
And
Getting down on his knee. Like, will you?
Literally on the knee under the Golden Gate Bridge.
Very cool.
And it's just it's fun, and it's great meeting people and being able to share our backyard with them.
Yeah. Every day when you get up, I know I do it, and I know these guys do it. What's your commitment statement? What do you want to get out of every day, Nancy? What do you look for?
Live life to the fullest,
Yeah, and you know what? That's so poignant because Nancy also shared a story. Like I said, everybody has a story. Kids. I mean, you guys have been through some rough times, but you're a resilient lady. I can tell.
Oh, absolutely.
I mean, you've come back from it, and your kids. I mean, she gets teary-eyed, but her boys are good. But man, it was a rough road for a minute.
Yep. I joke I don't have 12 kids, I have 2.
One, it felt like a lot.
One had stage 4 lymphoma at 8. He's had 13 brain surgeries. My other one's the accident waiting to happen. He was in a really serious bike accident and was in the ICU with brain bleed, collapsed lung. And I'm like, I only have 2. So, this is my happy place because I've spent so much of my time in hospitals and stressed out. And Mom, you have to be strong.
That's right.
So I'm the strong one going, you'll be fine. There's always someone worse, and stuff. And then I get to come out here and meet people like you and just have a ball.
That's awesome. And they look up to you. They were texting you today and having some fun. They're probably proud of you. They're really proud of Mom. What is it that you want them to know, everybody else to know about you? This is the spiel. We like to spiel a little something. Give us that inside perspective.
I'm all about family. I love when people come out, and last week we had husband and wife and their 2 kids out, and it was their son's birthday, and they just become our family when they're out here on the boat. We're fun. We're here to have a good time, and we let them drive, we let them talk on the bike, off channel and stuff, and it's just great.
Awesome. If there's anything I didn't ask you about as a person, as the experience, what would that be? Did I cover everything, or is there something you wanted to make
I think
sure
you
we
covered, and it's the San Francisco Bay. So, it's always different. You can have sunny, you can have beautiful, you can have cloudy, but, was it still beautiful?
Oh,
we went
awesome.
under the Golden Gate, and it was absolutely like a lake today. Where it can be sunny, and it can be 4-foot swell. So you just never know.
Talk about those points of interest. Like the moment we leave here, you want to make sure you point out this, and this.
So we go out under the Bay Bridge, we go along the waterfront, Alcatraz is to the right, Treasure Island's before. Then we usually go out under the Golden Gate, go out about a mile, come back in, and we'll go by Cavallo Point, the Coast Guard, and then go into Sausalito. Along Sausalito, you have the houseboats, you have some really quaint restaurants, and the architecture is beautiful.
Nice.
Then you have the anchor outs to the right, which are, some boats out there. And then we come around Angel Island, which has a lot of history to it that we pointed out, and then past Alcatraz, and it's kind of our 3-hour tour. It's like almost a track in the bay,
The exciting point tonight is we learned from Captain there that you do not come to San Francisco without seeing the city lights from the water.
Yeah, it's a whole different experience. And what's really neat is the new Salesforce building. The top story of it's like a projector, and they always have something different going on, whether it's dancing girls and different colors. It's amazing, and the bridges are lit up. It's beautiful.
So cool. Come experience it for yourself. Thank you so much.
Absolutely.
We appreciate it. All right.
Thank you.
We'll be right back.
But imagine your first time in San Francisco, just showing up there on the docks and a yacht coming to pick you up?
Out of nowhere, pretty much out of like the horizon. Well, kind of, but it was awesome.
It was right there, man. Captain Larry, first mate Nancy.
First mate Nancy was a real rock star.
She was a rock star.
In the interview, she was killing it. So
yeah. So we thought, we're a video crew. They don't really care about us. They're going to come in, take us out, and then drop us off. Man, we walked on board. There was food. It was just wow.
It was next level. We were there all day too.
Yeah.
We were there pretty much
all day and night.
We were there all day.
We stayed a while.
Actually, a shot of us. I think it was me and Hunter. We were back there.
You moved into the boat.
Off the boat.
You moved into the boat.
Pretty much, essentially.
Yeah. We're up on the deck there, and we're getting, acclimated, and we're meeting everyone. And these two, Hunter and Marcus, decide they're going to claim a room. They've already moved in. They're planning to stay the night. How you guys stayed below deck you know.
When you called us up, I was actually in bed, so there's that.
Ridiculous. In bed, like calling for champagne and caviar or whatever it is that people do on yachts. I'm not sure, but no, fantastic time. They rolled out the red carpet. We loved it. And I tell you, Captain Larry, he summed it up when he said, you do not come to San Francisco and not see these city lights from the bay, from the water.
Breathtaking, actually.
Oh,
Yeah.
it was unbelievable. Awesome. Until next time. And in the words written by Douglas Cross and George Corey, I left my heart in San Francisco. Tony Bennett says, I'm going home to my city by the bay. I left my heart in San Francisco. High on a hill it calls to me, to be where little cable cars climb halfway to the stars. The morning fog may chill the air, I don't care. My love waits there in San Francisco, above the blue and windy sea. When I come home to you, San Francisco, your golden sun will shine for me.